Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this training today. Today, we're going to talk about social media, and it's something that I'm super passionate about because I work with a lot of small business owners who get a little bit overwhelmed about how to best use social media to grow their businesses. And I always say that folks start kind of fall into three different camps as it relates to social media. So one camp is like, oh no, I don't use social media because, my audience doesn't use social media. So I'm not there. I work with big businesses and big businesses aren't on social media. Then there's another camp that's sort of very, very excited to use social media, and they're on social media 30 times a day, but they're not necessarily posting the right stuff that's going to generate attention. So they're like super pumped, super willing to do it, but they're not seeing the results that they probably would hope that they would see because they're on it so much, right? So they don't post the right stuff. And then there's the other camp that's sort of knows that they should be using social media, but they're sort of unsure about what types of stuff to post, where they should be posting, and about how all of that sort of fits together to help grow their businesses. So they want to use it, but they're not sure of the best steps to take in order to do so. So today we're going to talk about 10 things that I think that small businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofit leaders, and brand builders, 10 things I think that this group of folks should know about social media. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see the good stuff that I have prepared. So I want to go full out and talk about 10 things you should know about social media and business, right? So it's the 10 most effective strategies or tips to connect, engage, and convert new supporters or new customers. We're going to talk about why social media is not just for young folks. We're going to talk about why parasocial interaction and Kim Kardashian are the future of marketing. We're going to talk about why hashtags are so critical for engagement and why relationship building, even on social media, is super important to a successful strategy. If you have any questions throughout this training or throughout the day, whenever you watch it, you can always tweet your questions to at Ash Northington, and I will be sure to answer them. So a little bit about me. I am the founder of Denora Brands and Public Relations and Live Your Brand. And I dedicate my life basically to helping people find ways to communicate in a way that's going to get them the next win. And that win could be getting somebody to sign up for their email newsletter. It could be getting somebody to come out and support their event. It could be getting people to think positively or openly about a situation. It could be getting them to purchase something. So I'm all about helping folks get to the next win. At Denora, we just work with established brands, helping them grow their businesses and increase their visibility. And I also, through Live Your Brand, we work with aspiring and emerging entrepreneurs. We give them tools for success. So you can connect with me on Facebook or Twitter at Ash Northington. I'm also on Instagram at Ash Denor. And you can connect with Denor PR on all platforms at Denor PR. Great. So again, you can connect with Denor, my company, at Denor PR. If you want to connect with Live Your Brand, you can connect with them at Live Your Brand Co. On all platforms. And today we're going to be using the hashtag 10 social tips. So if you have a question, you can tweet me at Ash Northington. I'll answer it. Use the hashtag 10 social tips. I'll be super sure to see it. So without further ado, here are the 10 things that you should know about social media and business. So the first thing is that when you enter on a platform, when you enter on a network, it's critically important for you to set your intention. That means it's super, super, super important for you to decide how you're going to use the network. So if you're on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat, you need to decide if you're going to use this network. Is it to generate awareness about a specific person or product? Is it to share information about an event? Is it to engage with your customers? Is it to reach a new audience? Determine what your overall goal is for how you're going to use the network, and then begin creating content that aligns with that goal. It's also important to use beautiful visuals. Decide how you want to use photography, infographics, pictures, to tell your story on social media. So I think that social media gives you a great opportunity to share with the world all of the things that you have to offer, but people are drawn in by things that are aesthetically pleasing. It's also key to be very consistent with your use. So if you decide that you're going to launch this YouTube channel, don't post 2 videos and then disappear for 2 months and then it's crickets, right? So you want to decide on platforms that are going to give you the best opportunity to use the networks over and over and over again. The worst thing ever is for you to roll out this new initiative on a network and then you're never on it ever again after you do the initial rollout. And then this last thing is focus on having a conversation rather than promoting your wares, okay? So people on social media don't want to hear about your latest book. They don't want to hear about your latest event or activity. They don't want to hear about the cupcakes that you're selling, the pictures that you took. What they want to know more about is you. And what they want to know more about is how you do the work that you do rather than, just buy my book. Come to my event. That doesn't really work. And so we're going to get into why that doesn't work here in just a bit. So the next thing that I want you guys to consider is to really focus on before conversion. And so what I mean by that is that these days consumers are more educated and they have more choices than ever before. Right? And so consumers these days are using that access to information and that access to choices to make more informed purchasing decisions, right? And so we know that consumers consult with about 7 pieces of information before they make a buying decision. Right? And so what they're looking for is education about the product, education about the people that they're doing business with. And so that's why it's super important for business owners, brand builders to think about ways in which they can showcase their expertise so that they become an authority in whatever industry it is. So if I'm a person that's a photographer, I might want to educate my clients about, or potential clients about, the 10 best ways to pose if you're trying to hide the fact that you just had a baby. You maybe have a little bit of belly fat. Or maybe I might give them some tips on how to take the best, use natural light to take the best headshots outside, right? So you want to showcase or create content and create posts and share information that makes you look like an authority. And the education that you give out helps you establish your expertise, and it helps you build relationships with the people that you hope to do business with. And I always say this, relationship builders are those folks who always close the deal. The folks who are not interested in building relationships rarely close the deal. And so when we're thinking about what type of stuff we're going to post on social media, I always say to follow my 80-10-10 rule. And that is spend 80% of your time on social media educating the consumers about whatever it is that you do, sharing with them best practices, sharing with them industry news and information. 80% of your time should be spent on giving them information that's valuable, that helps them in their lives, helps their lives be better, helps them make better decisions, okay? 10% of your time should be spent humanizing your brand. And that's like giving people a look behind the curtain and seeing, who the people are behind your business or within your organization. So 10% of your time should be spent, showing the actual people who do the work. And then the last 10% you can spend on selling, like buy my book, come to my event, you know, sign up for this new class. So 80-10-10. So education always comes before conversion or sales or sign-ups or whatever. So focus on that. The next thing that I think is super important to know is that social media transcends age. So many times I have conversations with business owners or brand builders, and they are very hesitant to use social media because they think it's a place for young folks. So I don't want to get on Snapchat because that's where all the children are. And so I don't need to be there because I don't do business with children. My target demographic isn't children. And that while that may be some truth to that, I think that anybody who's in business, anyone who's in the business of selling a product or service to another person or to a group of people or groups of businesses or organization should be on social media. What platforms you choose is up to you, right? But I don't think it has anything to do with age. Think about this. Facebook, when it launched in 2004, it started as a platform for college kids to connect, network with other people. And now Facebook is this huge platform that everybody's on. The population is on Facebook. So while a platform like Snapchat, for example, might currently be a place where a lot of young people are, the key is to figure out, as a business owner and as a brand builder, the key is for you to determine where the audience is going to be next. So those businesses who in 2005 and 6 and 7, when Facebook started opening its doors to other folks, those early folks who got businesses who got on Facebook saw a lot of win because they knew that that's where the tide was going next. So as visionaries, as leaders, as the leaders of organizations, it's our job to figure out where they're going to be next. And that place that next might be a place like Snapchat. And so what your job is to then do is to get there, build a presence, and take your audience with you. It's not about age. It's not about young people versus old people. It's about seeing the trends and figuring out unique ways to communicate with your audience, to deeper engage and develop that relationship. The next thing I want to say, and this is my favorite thing to say ever, and that is that Kim Kardashian is the future of marketing. She is the present of marketing, and she is certainly the future. So what do I mean by that? Kim Kardashian has made a career based on this phenomenon that's rarely talked about called parasocial interaction. Okay? Parasocial interaction is a one-way relationship where an audience consumes media, and through that consumption of media, the audience begins to develop a personal relationship with that personality or persona. So when you think about people like the talk show host Wendy Williams, a lot of people that are in her tribe, that are in her audience, they say that Wendy Williams is their friend in their head. People say about Oprah Winfrey that Oprah Winfrey is like their soul sister or their soulmate in their mind. Because folks like Oprah Winfrey, people like Wendy Williams, people like Kim Kardashian produce so much content, it makes people feel like they have a relationship with them. And remember, relationships close deals, right? So think about this phenomenon started in the 1960s with game show hosts. So people who watched Vanna White, they thought they knew her based because they saw her every week or every day. People who watched The Price is Right, or folks who watched Bob Barker, they felt like they had a relationship with him because they saw him so often. They saw little tales about his personality. And so they began to develop relationships. So these days, marketing is not so much about the brand. It's not so much about Coca-Cola. It's not so much about Yeti microphones. It's about the people that drink Coca-Cola. It's about the people that are actually using the Yeti microphones. It's about personalities. And that parasocial interaction is what is influencing purchasing decisions. That's why brands partner with people like Kim Kardashian, like the newest person is DJ Khaled, because people feel like they know them, and so people are drawn to them, and so brands want to work with those folks, because if they know that if that person says, hey, I drink silk milk and I think the silk milk is the best, then more people are going to be exposed to that, because they think that they have, well, my friend drinks silk milk, I'm going to drink it too. So that's how it sort of influences purchasing decisions. And so the best places to sort of witness this parasocial interaction is on Instagram, through the Instagram stories and through the pictures that people share. It's through Snapchat, through those videos that people live, videos that people share that just pull back the curtain and show their lives. It's through a series of tweets that sometimes people talk about when they narrate their breakups or narrate their awful, traveling experiences. And it's through places like Facebook Live, where people are literally live streaming the exact things that are going on in their lives at that very moment. That builds relationships with other people over time. And I want you to think that parasocial interaction extends well beyond social media. And one way that we can look at that is the insurance industry. They do a really great job of capitalizing on parasocial interaction. So we are connected not to Progressive, but we are connected to Flow. We know that Flow is going to, if we have insurance with Progressive, Flow is going to stand outside our vehicles and make sure that no birds poop on it. Flow is going to make sure that the newspaper boy doesn't throw newspapers on our car, because that's what's shown in the commercials. That's what, she talks about on her Twitter page. By the way, if you've not ever checked out Flow's Twitter page, you should totally do it. It's hilarious. Jake from State Farm, we know that Jake from State Farm is going to be there when we need us. We know that we can go down and escape from our significant other and make a phone call at 3 a.m. and get Jake from State Farm, who's going to help us with our insurance questions. The negotiator from Priceline is going to make sure that we get the best deal. So we develop a relationship with these personalities that represent the brand, and therefore we're drawn into the brand through that parasocial interaction. So again, that's where everything is heading. It's not about Coca-Cola. It's not about, Mytel. It's really about the people behind it and the relationships that people build with their audiences build with those brand ambassadors, if you will. And again, just to build on that, marketing is now personal, okay? So people don't do business with logos. People don't do business with brands anymore. People do business with people, okay? So that is the entire reason why Coca-Cola here in recent years changed its marketing strategy, because Coca-Cola knows that people want to do, they don't care about Coke. People aren't like brand loyalists anymore. They're people loyalists. And so Coca-Cola started putting names on the side of its cans. Coca-Cola started putting popular song lyrics on the side of its cans and bottles, because, or like cheerleaders or teams, because it gave people a point of connectivity. And so that's what we have to do when we're thinking about social media. What content can we produce? What pictures can we share? How can we bridge the gap between brand and people? Heartbeat connection. And I think what's really cool is that platforms like Instagram and Snapchat provide businesses with the greatest opportunity to pull back the curtain on their businesses, on their brands, so that audiences can authentically engage with them, because people really do want to know what's going on in your life. And that human interaction that they feel like they're getting, that's what builds brand trust. That's what builds brand loyalties, aka relationships. And remember, relationships can be built on social media, and relationships is what's going to help you get your next win. Relationships help you close the deal. So don't think about it in a way, don't think about your marketing in a way that it's all about, is very brand focus. You know, I sell purple folders, so all we're going to talk about are these purple folders. Figure out a way to take those purple folders and humanize them so that people can connect with them. Another point that I think is important to know is that exclusive breeds desire. Right? So if you think about a company like Apple, for example, Apple does this thing when it releases a new phone in its stores where it will only allow 10 people in the store at a time. And the store can be completely empty except for those 10 people and the sales associates. And then there's a line of like 100 people or 200 people outside of the store. So other people walk by and they see, what's going on at Apple? I need to get over there. People in nightclubs, people who own nightclubs, they like people to be left out because they know that that exclusivity is going to make other people want what they have. So one way that you can think about translating that on social media is to offer certain types of content, certain coupons, certain specials, certain tips of information on certain platforms. One platform that allows you to do that really well is Snapchat. And we can do that on Snapchat because Snapchat is private. The only people that can see the things that you post on Snapchat are people that you approve to follow you. Okay, and it creates this sense of this exclusive club. So if you follow me on Snapchat, I'm going to tell you the 10 ways that you can use right now to make $1 million. I would never say that, but that's just one thing that I could say. Or I'm going to give you 50% off of DreamFest Digital if you follow me on Snapchat, and I'm going to tell you how you can do that on Snapchat, right? That's a way to create some sense of exclusivity. So when people start hearing that you only give out specials or deals or certain types of information on a certain specific platform, then that's going to grow your audience. People like to feel like they're a part of something special. They like to feel like they've gotten something first. And this really does work well for brands in fashion, beauty, or product-based businesses, entertainment brands, or brands with super charismatic leaders. That exclusivity piece is super critical. That's going to help breed more people talking about you and more people wanting to know what you have to offer. And another way to kind of make your social media strategy more exclusive is to only offer certain types of content specific to the platform. And what I mean by that is you may only share picture quotes on Instagram. On Snapchat, you may live stream and share ways to be successful. On Facebook, that may be the place where you only share your blogs. On Twitter, that might be where you share, you know, tips, success tips. Or you know, however it relates to your business. So you might create some sort of specific content that is only shared on a specific network. And so people who are interested in your success tips, they're not going to go follow you on Facebook. They're going to follow you on Twitter because that's what they really want. So again, exclusivity breeds desire. Hashtags amplify your visibility. So for those folks who are unsure about what a hashtag is just a keyword or key phrase combination with the number sign or pound sign in front of it, and there are no spaces. Hashtags have to be short, simple, and relevant, but the main thing is that hashtags have to be searchable. So I know that sometimes on social media, places like Facebook, places like Instagram, we see these really long hashtags like, I woke up like this and I went to the store and they didn't have any milk. Well, that might be funny for whatever you're talking about. That might be something cute to say, but that doesn't help your business because hashtags are searchable, are things that people are searching for. For example, if you're a photographer in Nashville, you might consider using Nashville photography as a hashtag or Nashville, because people are on Instagram, they're on Twitter searching for the word Nashville. They're searching for photographers in Nashville. They're searching for Nashville photography. It could be Nashville brides that they're searching for. If you want to do, you know, more wedding business, you have to sit down and think about the key words and key phrases that are most used for people looking to do business with folks in your industry. And those keywords and key phrases are the hashtags that you use, okay? So hashtags are going to help you be discovered. It's not to create some long sentence, because nobody's going to be searching for that long drawn out sentence. You have to use the keywords and key phrases that are going to draw more people into you. So hashtags really, really help you boost your audience, and it helps boost your content to people that you don't know about. So if you're using a popular hashtag and you have a public account on, let's say, a Twitter public account, meaning it's not locked, it's not private, on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, anybody in the world who searches that hashtag now has the ability to find you. And so you want to, again, use hashtags that people that, you know, are keywords and key phrases that people are actually searching for, in order to increase your audience and increase your connectivity and increase the chances of your content being seen by others. It's also important to note that hashtags don't work on networks like Snapchat right now. They don't really work on LinkedIn. They don't work on Pinterest, and they don't work on YouTube. But you can still use those keywords or key phrases just without the hashtag. The next thing I want to know is that engagement is key. So social, even though parasocial interaction is like the future of where all of this is headed, social media itself is not intended for a one-sided conversation. Social media is not about your business. Social media is all about having real, authentic conversations with people about a specific topic. Okay, so it's not just, you know, usually when I see a lot of people entering business and talking about their brands, they're only talking about whatever event, product, service that they have to offer. It's like, buy me, look at me. But that's not what's going to get you to close a new deal. That's not what's going to draw more clients into you. Find ways to engage your audience. You could ask them questions. You could do a poll. You could do a promotion or giveaway to generate some excitement, but you want to find a way to have a two-way conversation with the people that you hope to do business with the people that you hope to secure your next win from. Remember, those conversations that happen help strengthen relationships. And again, we build relationships through that great content, and relationships are what's going to help you get to the next win. And that's what this is all about if you're in business, getting to the next win. And next, I want to stress that it's okay to tell your story. So social media does allow you to position yourself as an expert. It does allow you to share nuggets about your business and how far you've come. But most importantly, it does give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself. Again, people want to know what's behind the curtain. People want to know who is behind the brand. So if you're a small business owner or you're a nonprofit leader, it's okay to share bits of personal information about your own struggle or the reason why it is you do what you do. Those stories, those moments of authenticity, that's what helps build relationships. And you know what I say about relationships, that's what closed deals. Use your story to help bridge the gap between people who are strangers and people who support your brand and people who are going to help you get to your next win. Bridge the gap with telling your story. And lastly, I just want to tell you to have fun. Yes, it can be super overwhelming to navigate all of these various networks, but figure out how to make it fun. Don't be afraid to try something new or creative. Yes, it does take a lot of strategy, but it can yield great rewards in terms of creating awareness and ultimately generating sales leads. And that's what, you know, for those folks of us who are in business or those folks who are serving the public in some way, it's all about generating leads of people who can help us get to the next win, right? So when we talk about getting to the next win, I would love for you guys to download our free guide, which is called Turning Likes into Leads, How to Turn Social Media Excitement into Cold Hard Cash. And it's all about the step-by-step process that you can take to convert social media popularity into profitability. So what it's going to use is just how you use high quality content, great offerings, and social media to attract, connect, and close more customers by using like Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, etc. You can download it using the URL at the bottom of the screen, bit.ly/TLI leads. That would be a great guide for you to learn that process. And if you really want to get the insight on the process of how to turn, social media excitement into cash, join us for our next training where we're going to continue the conversation about social media, and we're really going to talk about the process that we talk about in our guide. The next training is Counting Dollars and Likes, How to Turn Social Media Excitement into Cold Hard Cash. You can register for that webinar that next Wednesday at bit.ly/counting dollars. Thank you guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to tweet me at Ash Northington, and I'll be sure to answer them. You can use the hashtag 10socialtips, and I will be sure to share to see it and share your information and answer your question. But until next week, I'll see you guys later. Bye.